Hi, I thought I'd try something completely different here, so it might not work at all. But I'm doing some video footage of the updates on my vehicle instead of putting up pictures at the moment, and I thought I would move around and show you what's going on. At present the engine bay's been stripped, so after my last track day at Brands, the car came in and it's had the ITBs removed and a bit of work is going on in the engine bay there. I will be replacing the ITBs with a Plenum chamber. I don't know if you can quite see down there, but I've removed the trigger wheel as well at the moment. That's getting painted up because it was a bit rusty. And at the same time I have replaced the bolt to the crank sprocket and also added some dowels onto that. Just as a bit of a precautionary measure for track use. Okay, moving forward, I've been continuing work on a supercharger install. So I'm using an M62 Eaton here, and if you've been following any updates on my thread, you'll know that I've been making the bracketry for that. The bracketry is almost finished now, and it's in place here on a test engine. You can see the belt route, and the belt is now fitted on an actual KR block. This is so it all fits quite nicely. There's just enough room for the Plenum to sit over the top of the supercharger. So the bracketry is all made from aluminium. It's been TIG welded. I'm learning to TIG weld, so it's a bit of a learning curve, fairly steep at times, but enjoyable all the same. And a bit of billet at the front, bolted to a standard ABF style air conditioning and alternator brackets. You can see the position of the alternator is fairly low down, and at present, just on this part here, it is touching on, if I just move it into position, it just touches very lightly on the power steering pump. So a little bit of that bracket can be removed, and I will then secure it with a piece of billet aluminium. Okay, moving on from the supercharger install. It's one ongoing project. It will take a fair amount of time to finish, even at this stage. It replaces what is the throttles that I made at a few years back, and this has been in development for quite some time. They've gone through many different stages. I'm quite happy with them at the moment, but they are a little bit loud, and I wanted to try something new and something different, hence taking them off the vehicle. They're going to get shelved or potentially put onto another vehicle and used hopefully as a daily runner. We'll see how that goes. Other bits and bobs on the workbench then. My trigger wheel is off, just getting painted up at the moment, and I've run a billet aluminium pulley there, slightly undersized for the water pump. And this is just a piece that I've welded up to mount onto the end of the Plenum chamber, so I can just fix a piece of tubing to it instead of running the throttle body there. So the idea would be to run an ABS throttle body pre-charger to reduce noise, and see how that goes. It should also help with tip-in on the throttle, but we'll see how we go with that. With this throttle body then, I have removed a little bit of material and smoothed off the area on a lathe, and we'll see if that makes any noticeable effect. Right, outside I've been doing a bit of work as well. So I've been working on an inlet manifold, a Plenum chamber, and this is the start of it so far. It's cut up KR inlet manifold, so I'm using the lower half down here, which has been welded then to the upper half, which has also been cut down. And there needs to be a fair bit of porting done on the inside of it, and a build-up of weld to allow a nice smooth continual interchange between the circular runner at the Plenum end and at the head end the oval shaped runner. As you can see, this one has been ported, and the port match is really nice. It's very smooth now, and the interchange between round and the oval shape is gradual. It should have minimal effect there. For the airflow, we'll see how it goes when it gets on the dyno. To make it even smoother, I squash the ends of the tubes to aid that before welding. Some of the tools I use then include carbide bits, but they can be a bit of a pain and clog up with aluminium quite quickly. So I've resorted at the moment, because of the angle of it, getting the actual Dremel in, using doubling up actually with some cutting discs, and that seems to remove the material very quickly, but it also wears the disc down, so you end up going through tons of them. So I just use a pretty standard Dremel with the extension cable on. You can get right inside. Makes life very easy. And to finish off, 80 grit flat wheel. A couple of things I need to do to this. Obviously finish the Plenum chamber, which is at work at the moment, but I also need to add some tabs on for the 1.8T fuel rail. Stop that flying off under the pressure. So they're the remaining parts of the KR manifold. So we've got the top part here that's created using the runners where it's been cut, and then the lower half I just trimmed off the flange that goes onto the head and used that to mate to those runners. Nice, simple, quite effective.